Good evening, it's meteorologist Michael Fecka. Welcome back to the 9 p.m. all-weather, all-streaming show that we do here every night during the workdays and on weekends. We stream it out to all of our streaming platforms as well as to Facebook Live and YouTube Live. So if you are joining us from either of those places, please feel free to leave a question or a comment down below. Hopefully I'll be able to address anything as I go through the forecast, but if not, I'll go through at the very end and see if I can answer anything individually for you. So let's get started here with a look at our headlines. Well, we are tracking out another cold front sliding through late tonight and into the overnight hours. That's going to give us another round of some showers and thunderstorms. Now, the severe weather threat is fairly low, but it is still possible there could be an isolated damaging wind gust with a storm that develops overnight tonight, but it's not expected to be a widespread or anything particularly intense there. Again, this is a pretty low end severe risk, so not really expecting a whole lot from that, but that front is really going to help bring those temperatures down once we get into tomorrow. And that's kind of the bigger impact of this frontal system is the change in temperatures. And not only are we going to be cooling way down here through the second half of the weekend and into the start of the work week, it does look like we still have that chance for at least some flurries or even some plain light snow showers. So let's take a look at our setup right now. So we've got this area of low pressure. It dropped out of the northern plains earlier today. It brought some heavy snow to areas of Iowa, and that is going to slide into areas like the Great Lakes. And along with that, there is that cold front to the south there, and that is what's going to be sweeping through the tri-state here over the next couple of hours. You can see nothing too crazy here in the tri-state, maybe a few light showers now popping up in Wayne County just north of Fairfield. We have just a few thunderstorms out to the west of Wayne County right now, just south of Romine and Centralia, and that's in southern Illinois. Those will continue to kind of lift up to the north and east, and we've still got some lighter shower activity off to the west here through extreme portions of southern Illinois and far western Kentucky. This will all continue to just slide in here over the next couple of hours. Looking at the timing of everything, it looks like the best chance for those showers and storms to push into the tri-state is going to be between 10 to 3 a.m. And it looks like this kind of wraps up by around 3:30, and then we'll actually see that cooler air plunging in from the northwest as soon as those showers clear. So we'll hold on to that cloud cover through much of our Sunday, and it is just going to be downright chilly out there. I'll break down those temperatures in a moment, but again, there's a look at those individual severe risks. Again, we have that very low end risk for an isolated damaging wind gust for these areas highlighted in yellow. So again, doesn't even really include the entire tri-state, but you can't completely rule it out. I think most of us will probably just escape with our typical shower and thunderstorm activity. But, you know, I would have your ringer on just in case a warning is issued and you want to take a look at it and make sure you're all good there. But looking at our current temperatures, we've got temps mostly in the 50s. We warmed all the way back up into the mid to upper 60s this afternoon, so that's well above average for this time of year. It was a gorgeous Saturday. I mean, we had a few clouds out there, but it was dry, comfortable, a little bit breezy. The leaves were in peak foliage, and I do think once we get this cool shot of air through the second half of the weekend and the start of the work week, that's going to pretty much kill any of the leaves that are still hanging out on the trees. And then it's also going to be pretty windy during that time frame as well. So any of the leaves that are still on there likely going to get blown right off. So hopefully you enjoyed what little bit of foliage we did have today. But looking at your next 12 hours, we'll have some of those showers and storms roll in here generally after 10 p.m., clearing out of here by around 3 a.m. Temperatures drop down into the low 40s overnight tonight, and we'll hang out in the low to mid 40s throughout our day on Sunday. And again, going to be breezy. Northwest winds between 15 to 20 miles per hour, gusts up to 25 miles per hour are possible. And when you factor in the winds plus those cooler temperatures, the wind chill values, they're going to be hanging out in the 30s throughout the entire day tomorrow. And then once we transition into tomorrow night, it's going to be feeling like we're down into the 20s and teens, especially waking up for Monday morning. But in terms of if you're going to be out and about tomorrow, what can you wear? You know, we still recommend a few layers, especially on the top. 1 to 2 is good enough. And then a nice long pant and warm shoes will generally keep you warm enough with these kinds of temperatures. It's really not all that dangerous until you start getting into those single-digit wind chill values, and especially those negative single digits. But this is kind of the first cold blast we've had so far this year, and a lot of folks probably don't even know where their winter jackets are yet. So hopefully you you can focus on getting that tonight, or maybe even throughout the day tomorrow, digging out those winter jackets just in preparation. You know, it's going to be cold, even outside of just this weekend and the start of next week. We are in the month of November, so you definitely want to make sure you know where all your winter things are. But looking at the next 7 days, our temperature trend takes a tumble there through the start of the work week. We don't start to warm back up above average until we get into until we get into Wednesday. And then it looks like we may even start to soar well above average by the time we get into next weekend. So again, just a huge roller coaster ride of temperatures. We were above average this week. We're going to be well below average through the second half of this weekend and into the start of the work week. And then we're going to be back up above average by the end of next week. So bear with Mother Nature as she seems to be off her meds a little bit. But just to make things a little bit more Midwest for you, we just talked about the storms that are going to move through overnight. We have that big cold blast moving in behind those showers and storms. But what does that mean for tomorrow? I do think a lot of us will probably stay mostly dry, but we still have that chance for a few wraparound sprinkles and perhaps even a few flurries mixed in there as well, especially as you head towards Sunday evening. And then it does look like we kind of dry out overnight Sunday, and then in this model wants to bring in another round of some snow showers through Monday morning and then clear that out of here through Monday afternoon. So this model is the most aggressive in terms of those snow showers waking up Monday morning, and it does even have a little bit of accumulation, a dusting on maybe some grassy or elevated surfaces, maybe even on the tops of your cars and roofs, but it shouldn't really be too much of an impact here. As you go farther north though, especially up north towards Indianapolis and northern Indiana, especially up towards the South Bend area, that's where a lot of the lake effect snow is going to get cranking there, and they could see 6 to 12 inches in some spots in northern Indiana. So we're not going to be getting anything like that. We will likely just get a few flurries and very, very little accumulation, if any, if you get hit with a snow shower Monday morning. So pretty low impact stuff, but it is the first cold and the first snowflakes of the season. But as I mentioned before, it is going to be pretty short-lived. We're not expected to remain in this Arctic blast for long. We are actually going to warm up well above average through the through the middle of the month of November. So I'm going to throw the 7-day up there real quick. Let me go ahead and check out the comments. Jeanette, she's here. She says, good evening. Hello from Henderson, says Donna. Hello to you too. Good evening, Cheyenne. Tara asks, with all the rain and cooler temps tomorrow, will we need to worry about any icy roads tomorrow? No, I don't think we'll have to worry about any of those icy roads tomorrow. Again, we're not going to be dropping down below freezing for our actual air temperatures until we get into Sunday night. So any rain that falls tonight is going to be well dried up before then. And we are still tracking out maybe the chance for a few sprinkles and some flurries Sunday evening, and then again into Monday morning. That could cause for maybe a few isolated slick spots, but it shouldn't really be a widespread problem as long as everybody remembers, how to drive properly in snowier conditions. William says, had a great weather for the model train show today, though I do love the snow too, being from Port Huron in Michigan. Wow, that's a fun fact. I didn't know you were from all the way up in Michigan there, but I can't agree with you. I don't like the snow, but I'm happy you do, and hopefully, at least it brings a smile to someone's face. And then Chris, I know Chris, he's excited about warmer temperatures. We were talking about it yesterday. He's looking at that 70-degree day for Saturday of next weekend. Me too. Me and you, we're going to be out there getting a tan. But that is all the questions I'm seeing. I'm going to hop off the live stream. I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 10 for all the latest news and weather headlines. Until then, everybody, stay safe and have a great rest of your night. Remember, we've got a few showers and storms rolling through overnight, followed by that major cool down through the second half of the weekend and into the start of the work week.